guys, it's Mrs. Renner. I wanted to help you a little bit with the unit conversion because it's a little bit tricky and maybe easier to hear someone talk through it. So this is a slide from the slide deck. And you'll notice that we have these fun facts for conversions, okay? And I have little copies of these that you can come get and put in your notebook. So what these are, let me put a pen up here, boop. So what all of these little equations are relationships between two units, okay? And you remember from the gizmo, there were these tiles, right? So if we took that first equation, that tile might look like 1,000 meters and 1 kilometer, right? And remember, that's equal to 1 because the thing on the top is the same as the thing on the bottom. So the way that we're actually going to use these, so you did that with the gizmo, but I wanted to show you how we can actually do it by hand, so by yourself. So let's look at this. So how many meters is 6 feet? So we're going to first ask ourselves, is there a relationship that we know, one of these fun facts, that relates feet to meters? And we see this in orange, that 1 meter equals 3.3 feet. So what that means is that we could make a tile that looks like this, or remember you could flip them and they were the same thing, right? Because it's still 1. So we start with 6 feet, all right? That's what we're given. And we start by putting it over 1, okay? And actually, this is the end result, but I'm gonna go to the next, I'm just gonna go to a blank slide and do it from scratch, okay? So, 6 feet. I start with the thing that I'm given, 6 feet, and I just slap a 1 down there, all right? Because we're gonna be working with fractions. And we want to make sure that our tops and bottoms stay together. So my favorite way of doing this is to set up the units first, okay? So do you remember when you were looking at the gizmo, the way that things canceled, remember there was like a red line through the units, and they canceled, the way they canceled is by 1 being on top and 1 being on bottom. So I want to get rid of feet and get meters so that my feet cancel and that I'm left with meters, okay? So that's my strategy, is I'm going to get rid of those units that I don't want and I'm going to end up with the ones I do. So now to make this, this thing right here true, right, this tile equal to 1, let me look again. It said 3.3 feet was 1 meter, okay? So I look here and I say, okay, feet. What is the number in front of feet? And I'm going to put that number in front of feet. Then I say, okay, here's my meter. What number is in front of the meter? And I'm going to put that. So that when I look at this, I can say, right, that the top is equal to the bottom. The top, which is 1 meter, is equal to 3.3 feet. Okay, so once you get that set up, you're like, cool, I've got meters, awesome. Now it's just 6 times 1, I multiply all the stuff on the top, and then I multiply all the stuff on the bottom, 1 over 3.3, and I still have a meter up top. So this is a calculator thing, 6 divided by 3.3, and it's 1.82, and the unit that I have left is meter. Okay. So I want to introduce you to the graphic organizer that we use, all right? So if we do feet to centimeters, if we look at our fun facts, we don't actually have something that has some number of feet equals some number of centimeters. But we can go from feet to meters and then from meters to centimeters. So here's our meters, or sorry, yeah, feet to meters is this guy, first guy, and the meters to centimeters is that guy. What's really cool is that we don't need to start over when we don't need to go feet to meters, calculate that, and then do meters to centimeters. We can do it all in one. So let's try this 14 feet to centimeters. So I'm introducing you this graphic organizer. So hopefully you can see that I've got some sort of fractions, right? The top and a bottom. Then there's little multiplying things in between. And you're not going to necessarily use all these boxes, but it'll help you get things organized. So we're going to start with 14 feet. So I write 14 feet here and a 1 down here. And I just use the 1 as the placeholder because, right, anything over 1 is that thing, right? So we're writing as a fraction. Okay, so now I'm going to go feet to meters and then meters to centimeters. So I'm going to set up my units first. And remember, to get things to cancel, 1's on top, so 1's on bottom. So my feet's on top, so I need a feet on bottom, and I'm going from feet to meters, okay? So that's going to get rid of feet, and now I have meters. Do I want meters? No, not totally. I want centimeters. So now I need to go from meters to centimeters. And remember, I'm not putting in any numbers right now. I'm just putting in the units so that I have the setup of the problem. So to get rid of meters, I need a meter on the bottom, but then I'm going to centimeters, so centimeters is on top. And then those meters cancel, and I'm left with centimeters, and now I'm going to be happy. All right. Now, to finish the problem, we look at our fun facts. And we just match up the letters with the numbers. So in this first one, it says 1m equals 3.3 feet. So I find my m, and I put a 1 in front, and I find my feet, and it's 3.3, because 1 meter equals 3.3 feet. For meters and centimeters, you can see that there's 100 in front of my centimeter. So I put the 100 next to my centimeter and a 1 next to my meter. Okay, so that's the setup, and now we just multiply. 14 times 1 times 100 is 1400, and there's still a centimeter, so I'm going to put that here. And then 1 times 3.3 times 1 is 3.3. So that is a number. And it's 424 centimeters. Okay, cool. On this next slide, you can see this one's already been done. And I just wanted to mention, when you do this, when you use this box, it's kind of a placeholder. It's kind of to help you with your calculations. But if you know how to use your calculator and just making sure that you use parentheses when you multiply the things down here and then when you're dividing like this, it's fine. You don't need to use this box, but it's useful if you're trying to get around with it. Okay, so then these were 4 problems that we did in class to make sure that everybody was understanding how to do it. I walked around and helped people. So you should try these. On Google Classroom, I put up a graphic organizer that you can practice with. Or you can just draw it out on paper. That's fine too. Or you can, when you come to school, you can come grab one. But hopefully you'll be starting to get this in the next few before you look at them. And then just come on in to AT if you need more help. Okay. Slides are the answers for those 4 problems, so try them.